Joe, just a reminder of why the Justice Department might be a little bit concerned about nuclear secrets knocking around Mar-a-Lago. There was the time that Trump spilled highly classified information to Russia's foreign minister, or when he tweeted a highly classified satellite photo of an Iranian space facility, or when he sided with the Kremlin over America's own intelligence agencies.
My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
Yeah. So with that in mind, we begin with new information on the FBI search of Donald Trump's home in Florida. People familiar with the investigation tell the Washington Post that classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items agents were searching for on Monday. The sources did not disclose any additional details about the type of documents or if any were recovered. Here's reaction from the Trump attorney who was at Mar-a-Lago during the search.
Is it your understanding that there were not documents related to our nuclear capabilities or nuclear issues that had national security implications in the president's possession when the agents showed up at Mar-a-Lago?
That's correct. I don't believe they were. And if they thought
do you know for a fact? Do you know for a fact they were? Have you spoken to the president about it?
I have not specifically spoken to the president about what nuclear materials may or may not have been in there. I do not believe there were any in there.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh, my God.
I haven't talked to my client about whether he'd illegally removed nuclear secrets from the White House and taken them down to his country club illegally in Florida? You didn't ask the president that question? I mean, listen, this is a guy who has had contempt for classified information. Of course, he attacked Hillary Clinton for her emails.
And all those people.
But as we saw time and again, he showed that he had contempt for classified information. And you know, the Washington Post this morning is saying that Garland called Trump's bluff yesterday, but I think it's more than that. He called out with his just the facts, ma'am approach. He called out Donald Trump's bluster. He called out Donald Trump's bluster and his lies, his BS. And you just get the sense that from the start of this, Trump has known that he's a corrupt politician who's been cornered. And so what has he done? He's refused to release the documents. He could have released the documents at any time. And instead, he's been whipping up a frenzy against the FBI and against law enforcement officers. And we saw the consequences of that yesterday, most likely, if the reporting is correct. That sure enough, just as I've been warning on this show every day, the irresponsible voices on the Trump right are ginning up hatred against our FBI, against law enforcement agents, against the very people that they once claimed to support. And while they're whipping them into this frenzy, they're putting the lives, they're putting targets on the back of FBI agents, and they know who they are. And they were still doing it last night on TV, even after somebody tried to break in to the FBI bureau in Ohio and cause harm to agents.
And the person is deceased now.
Yeah, the person's deceased now because he was whipped into a frenzy by these conspiracy theories. Like I said,
ties
just
to January 6th.
Like January the 6th. So you look at all of this, and David Ignatius, you look at the possibility that nuclear secrets may be involved here, and the fact that Trump's own lawyer says, "Oh, I don't know, maybe nuclear secrets were stolen from the White House and taken down to Mar-a-Lago illegally." But whatever it is, we understand from the DOJ that it was obviously so critical that they felt like they had to move immediately.
Joe, we still don't know, obviously, the details. We're hoping that the search warrant is revealed. But we do know from Trump's own lawyer that the issue here involved classified materials. And I'm told by a very senior justice official that this search warrant would not have been authorized unless there was a feeling that the documents in question posed a real danger if they were disclosed. And second, that there'd been some effort to conceal or withhold those documents. There was a very specific reason that they moved in the way that they did, and they moved only after the more informal process of seeking a subpoena, having discussions. We now know through the Wall Street Journal about conversations that took place some weeks before this search warrant was executed.
David, your source, your highly placed source at the Department of Justice said they only moved because it would have caused great harm to the United States if this highly classified information got out, and also that Donald Trump had made an effort, had tried to conceal the information from the FBI and the DOJ?
Joe, I want to be clear about the nature of my sourcing. I don't mean to imply that this is a source who is currently at the top level of the Justice Department, but is involved in justice activities and is deeply familiar with these issues. And this source made those 2 points, that this action would not have been taken unless there was a fear that grave danger would result from disclosure of the documents. And second, this action would not have been taken in the way that it was unless there was a concern that some material that had been requested was being withheld. Those 2 points, I don't mean to say this is from Justice Department senior officials themselves, but from sources close to them.
So we may actually learn what was taken from the property as early as this afternoon, as well as any suspected violations. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced yesterday that the Justice Department is moving to unseal the warrant used in Monday's search. The judge ruled the DOJ's motion to unseal must be presented to Trump's lawyers, who have until 3 p.m. today to agree with or oppose the motion to unseal the warrant.